and get started. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Monday, September 16th work session of the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. I'm Aaron Mays. I represent District 3. On my right is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1. And Commissioner Kevin Cook's not with us today, so I will be running the show, or attempting to. And so let's go ahead and get started. We only have really one item of business today, and that is our Extension Office Quarterly Report. So I will turn it over to Candace.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Candace Stiles, Shawnee County Extension Director, and I'm so happy to get to report to you all on a quarterly basis because the work of the Extension Office changes throughout the year. While year to year our calendar kind of looks the same, the time of year changes what we do drastically. So this is our second quarter, April through June. I know that was a while ago, but you guys have been busy, we've been busy. But before you know it, we'll be back with our third quarter report. As always, I've made a one-page kind of top hits from our agents' reports. If you would like more, they submit me probably 3 or 4 pages each, and I boil it down to a simple paragraph. So if you want to know more about their programs, we can get you those longer reports. For this quarter, we had 4,306 direct educational contacts. And as you can see from this slide and from our next slide, we are in parity with Shawnee County of our demographics, meaning that the way the county is made up, that is also the percentages of people that we are serving, and we are always very proud of that fact. This is a really busy time for 4-H. They have 2 Department of Education interns this year doing summer programs with our community partners. But the program I decided to highlight was Grace Ween's involvement with the City of Topeka's Summer Way to Work program. They had 18 youth placed all over the city with part-time jobs that paid minimum wage. And then every other Friday, instead of going to their jobs, they went to the city building and they got professional development in communication, conflict management, how to interview, and Grace led those professional development sessions for the city of Topeka. So it's a really fun program. Grace really likes doing it, and this is the second year that 4-H has been involved in this way. The agriculture program that I highlighted on your sheet was our tractor safety school. Our ag agent, Abigail Gettinger, worked really hard this year with other agents surrounding Shawnee County to reimagine the program to meet the number of hours that are required to certify youth to work on a non-parental farm. So youth can't even work on their grandparents' farm or their uncle's farm without having this certification that is they know how to be safe and they know how to do the things that they're going to be doing. In addition, this year, they used to have their employer certify that they did some tractor driving and that they knew how to do that. Well, this year we partnered with Heritage Tractor and did the tractor course as a part of the class, and so that was a lot of fun. And then we also know if they did it. Our family and consumer science agent, Susan Fangman, this is the quarter where she gets to tally all of her VITA contacts. That's the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. And so this would have been for the 2023 tax year. Her volunteers completed 2,118 federal tax returns for free and a comparable amount of state returns. Since this service is free, the volunteers are saving the clients over $450,000 in tax preparation fees that the IRS values at $225 of filing. It's a true labor of love for these volunteers, and with ARP, so VITA and ARP together, had more than 5,000 volunteer hours for this tax season preparing for tax clients. In my area, I am happy to announce that From Farm to You came back for the first time since 2019, and we hosted 720 second graders from Shawnee County and taught them where their food comes from. The teachers were happy to have this program back. It is their field trip for their second grade class. We already have our date set for 2025, but the youth start in Landon Arena watching a video about wheat production, and they're enjoying a slice of cheese pizza at that time. Then they move over into Domer Arena into 10 different learning stations where they relate everything back to pizza, including the dairy, the hogs, the tomato plants. We have somebody there that talks about weather and soil, really giving them a little bit more information about where their food comes from and how agriculture plays into it before things go to the grocery store. So as you can see from my verbal report and our written report, we are staying busy. But lastly, I do want to introduce our newest agent, FNEP and SNAP-Ed agent, Sofia Diaz-Buezo. She started on August 19th, and I'm going to save her some stuff to talk about. So I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here this morning. Like Candace said, my name is Sofia Diaz-Buezo, and I'm the new FNEP SNAP-Ed agent. Prior to this job, I was the SNAP-Ed nutrition educator in Douglas County, but I am a resident of Topeka, and I have been living in Topeka for about a year and a half. I obtained my Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management and Dietetics from Western Kentucky University. So as you guys can see, I'm far away from where I got my degree. And then I completed a dietetic internship through Northwest Missouri State University in order to become a registered dietitian. So I am a community dietitian, and I'm working with K-State. So, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
We're very happy to have Sophia on our team. Do you guys have any questions for me about those programs before I turn it over to Lane to talk specifically about horticulture?
No, I guess let's talk about horticulture.
Let's talk about horticulture and really grill them. Just every question you got.
See what I have to deal with on a pretty much daily basis.
Oh, yeah.
Candace is
We know.
fantastic. We love her over at the office. Okay, well, I am Lane Weens. I'm the Shawnee County Horticulture Agent here to give a little bit of an update about what myself and the Master Gardeners have been busy with here in the county. So first of all, one of our big public events for the year is our annual plant sale. So this is always the first weekend of May there at Ag Hall. All of the plants are grown and donated by Master Gardeners, so a lot of our annuals and vegetable starts are grown by the volunteers in our greenhouse, and then all of the perennials, they dig up plants from their own yard, pot them up, and we sell them to the community. And this is really how we fund all of the Master Gardener activities that we do here in the community. So everything that goes into our demonstration gardens, our public events, mostly comes from this plant sale. It was a really good year. We had about 215 people waiting before we opened the doors at 9 o'clock. When I got there at 7, we had people sitting in armchairs and blankets because it was a pretty cold morning that day. And then we had about 630 people through the plant sale as a whole. So it was a very good day. Our other big public event is our Sick Plant Clinic. So we hold this annually at Fairlawn Plaza. We get some experts from K-State. We had Dr. Cloyd from entomology and Judy O'Mara from the Plant Disease Diagnostic Lab and Plant Pathology come over. We also have some local experts, myself and Chad Bullock from Premier Farm and Home, excuse me. Gary Bouts is one of our Master Gardeners, spent his career working with the Forest Service, so he helped us out with some of the tree things. We had 51 people come and talk with our local and K-State experts. We did our best to promote the event. I think we did a really good job promoting the event. I wish the weather would have cooperated. It was 105 degrees, and unsurprisingly, people didn't want to get out and about when it's that hot. So we'll be back there again this year. I believe we're looking the 21st of June, if my memory is serving. Another big thing the Master Gardeners help me out with is our annual response signs. So this is when the volunteers take the horticulture questions that come into the office. And we've had 383 since the 1st of April. So on that graph there, the purple line is where we're at for this year. The green line is where we ended up with for the end of last year. So we're looking to be right about where we were with last year. So we're in pretty good shape there. Something else that we've started this year is an online question submission survey. So people that can't necessarily call into the office during the day or don't have the time to come bring a sample into the office, this is still a way that we can take their question. Again, it's the first year we've done that. We'd have 44 questions submitted with that survey. So I'm really happy with that. I think as we continue offering this to people, we'll get more and more questions through that service. And something else I've been doing with the response line data is collecting what zip codes our questions are coming from. As extension agents for the county, it's really important that we serve all of that county. So by checking out this zip code data, we're seeing where we are and aren't getting questions from. So we've had questions from Rossville, Silver Lake, Wakarusa, Auburn, Barryton. So we're doing a really good job in the areas where we're not getting so many questions. We're going to use that to do some targeted marketing in those specific neighborhoods. Our demonstration gardens. This is, I think, one of the things that Master Gardeners are really well known for. So we maintain 8 demonstration gardens around the county. Each of them focuses on a different specific type of gardening. So our backyard garden, that's located at our extension office, and it really focuses on growing on a hillside. Our xeriscape demonstration garden is also at the extension office, and it focuses on plants that don't need a lot of water input to stay looking really nice through the growing season. And our woodland garden is located down at Lake Shawnee and Ted Inslee Gardens, and that's our shade garden. So showing people how you can grow if you do have some deep shade situations. And currently, we're actually working on moving 2 of our demonstration gardens. We're working to finalize agreements with both of these places. So our native plant garden, we're moving that from Cedar Crest to Washburn University, will actually be directly to the west of the new law building at Washburn. So a very visible location. We've already been in contact with some of the professors in the Division of Biology, so we'll be working with them. It would be really nice to have a really visible garden and also be able to use it as a teaching tool, not just for the community, but also for the professors in biology to use with their classes. And our next garden that we're moving is our demonstration vegetable and community garden. Currently, that's at the south end of the Stormont Vale Event Center parking lot by the locomotive, and we're moving that to CRC Stout Elementary, so 23rd and College area. This has been kind of in the works for the last few years, so it's really nice to finally be putting an end to finding a new location for that garden. Code enforcement training. So one of my master's gardeners and I gave code enforcement training to the new code enforcement officers with the Topeka Police Department, the Property Maintenance Unit. So we taught them how to identify the common noxious weeds that we see in landscapes here within the city of Topeka, and to be able to recognize some invasive plants. And we also gave them some strategies and resources on combating those plants from propagating into other areas. And we also taught them skills to be able to tell the difference between a weed patch and a native plant garden, because if you have a native plant garden, it can get pretty weedy fairly quickly. So it's really important to be able to tell the difference between something they're actually trying to manage for native plants versus something they're just letting go. And lastly is our new Master Gardener class. So since the pandemic, Master Gardener training has been done pretty much exclusively through the state. It used to be that the horticulture agent was in charge of doing all of the training. Thankfully, that is no longer the case. I don't have to be the subject matter expert on everything, just some things. So we log into the statewide Zoom. There's the different agents and specialists take turns giving the various lectures. Last week it was soils, water, and fertility from Potawatomi County's ag agent. This week it'll be myself and Douglas County's horticulture agent teaching them about plant growth and development. So our class runs now through the first week of December, and we have 10 new volunteers going through that training. So we're really excited to bring those 10 new volunteers along, get them trained, and get them working in our community. Any questions?
I have a question about the gardens. You said you're moving a garden. Does that mean
Yes.
you're like digging up all the plants that are there now, or are you
Yes.
just putting new ones in somewhere and walking away, mowing it?
Yes. So unfortunately, up at Cedar Crest, we were asked to vacate that garden. That was back in June. So we dug up as many of those gardens as we could. Currently, our native plant garden is sitting in pots behind our greenhouse at the extension office.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
we're working on figuring out how we're going to get those overwintered, because at this point in the year, it's not really going to be enough time to get those really established over at Washburn. But we're really excited to be working with Washburn in developing this new garden.
And the vegetables, like,
The vegetables, luckily, we don't have to worry about overwintering those, so they're going to finish the season down there at the locomotive and then spend the winter in the first part of the spring moving all of our raised beds and our good garden soil and everything over to Stout Elementary so we can start the season over there once our last frost passes.
okay, great.
Commissioners, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I'm not a master gardener, but I'm perhaps an intermediate gardener. And the one thing that seems to be undefeated are squash bugs. We tore out our squash garden this weekend. Got a pretty good haul. We
Good.
did. But the reason it's not going another month is because the squash bugs won. That was after about, last year we tilled and we burnt and we tilled, applied pesticide or insecticide. The spring, we put down granular onto the dirt twice. I sprayed once. They're undefeated. They are the winners.
Yeah, squash bugs, I think they could survive a nuclear blast
I'm with you on
sometimes.
that.
It's really important with squashes, especially to be out checking the underside of your leaves. They have little copper-colored football-shaped eggs. They're really obvious. They're really good contrast between the
I got all that. I just need to know how to stop that in the first place.
Planting a couple weeks later is actually a pretty good strategy. So instead of planting your squash right when the last frost is passed, waiting a couple weeks, having those insects emerge, not having anything to eat, and starving themselves out
So
is
more
a
like a
good
June
strategy.
5th, the second half of
Yeah,
June.
wait
would be-
until the last couple weeks of June. Give that a try.
I haven't tried that one yet.
You say you're gonna do this garden west of the new law building?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do they have water there?
They do. They do. That was all in our memorandum of understanding with Washburn. So there's that side entry door on the west side of the building. Right to the north of that is a water spigot that we will be able to utilize for that garden. And luckily, with it being a native plant garden, we'll only really need that water through the first year or whenever we're trying to establish new plants in that garden. Because they're natives, they're used to growing in this Kansas climate, so they should be able to grow with whatever water they get.
I don't know if it'd be of any value, but there is a tremendous amount of underground water storage just to the west of the building. It's stormwater runoff, and it's in these huge plastic, like vaults where
Yeah.
it collects water. I always thought, could that be tapped into for irrigation or whatnot?
This is the
I don't
first
know.
I'm hearing of it, but that could be an interesting use for
And
that
I don't know how
water.
long water stays there. It probably I don't
Moves
know if
on
it-
down the line pretty quick.
Yeah, if it drains out eventually, and it'd have to, but I don't know how quickly that happens.
Yeah,
But,
that's
it
definitely
was an
something-
interesting drainage system to watch it go in.
That's something we could consider for sure.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. All right, is that all? That's it for the extension office. Any other additional questions for anyone else up there, or?
Any more bug questions?
That's literally the only bug I can't beat.
Okay.
All right, well then, we will move on to public comment. Is there anyone wishing to speak in public comment today?
I have a 5-minute diatribe against squash bugs, but perhaps I'll save that for a later date.
All right, let's talk offline. Next up is administrative communications. Maybe a couple of those.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. Just wanted to remind you and the public that October 3rd, the mobile mammography unit will be at Evergy Plaza. All you need is insurance to attend. You don't have to be either a city or a county employee, but they do have first dibs on the appointment. We'd like to invite everyone to come out. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Amanda Monholland with the Commission Office. I just was coming to remind everyone that we have our employee fundraiser bingo night for Helping Hands Humane Society from 6 to 9:30. The food trucks will be there from 6 to 7. We have Bobby's and also Le Crêperie. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And also there will be tea and water available, but everybody can bring their own drinks as well. So the other thing I would like to also remind everyone is that we are still taking advance purchases for your tickets. So that can be done here at the 707 building with me. And if you're at any of the courthouse, you can go to Register of Deeds. If you are at the North Annex, you can go to the Planning Department. And also, I'm missing one. Oh, in the Health Department, and with Kathleen Burris, we'll be able to help you with that. So with that, I hope that we will have a good turnout. This is our first time that we have done this. So yes, that's it.
Should be a fun night.
I hope so.
Are you, Commissioner Rippon, are you a bingo caller that night?
Yes, I think I have the last two games.
I think I've got the first couple, so
Yeah,
it should be,
I think you're right.
I might be gone by the time you get there. Oh, all right, great, well, that's exciting. Any other administrative communications? Commissioner Rippon?
Had a busy weekend. We had a car show at Gage Park. It was well attended, nice weather. And then Ward Mead had a number of things going on out there. But it was a good event, so.
Yeah?
Oh, and I caught a K-State game, which is,
Yeah, it was a good one.
it was good. Yeah, all right.
Basketball season's right around the corner.
Yeah, that's right.
Chiefs snuck one in too. I had a chance to stop at Brew at the Zoo. That was kind of fun. There was a lot of people there. And then obviously, I know we had the ribbon cutting for the Discovery Center last week. And so it's exciting to see the Gage Park Improvement Authority stuff really kind of coming together already after just such a short amount of time. So we're doing budget stuff on Thursday, and hopefully we'll be able to finish it up. So Jennifer looks real happy to be done with it, so we'll do that. So I don't have anything else, so we're adjourned.